If you're feeling burned out, broke, and busy 24/7, it's probably because you're doing too much. Real talk. Not everything you do moves the needle. In fact, 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. It's called the 80-20 rule. And once you learn how to use it in your nursing career, leadership game, personal growth, and finances, your life will go from chaotic hustle to focused success. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about what the 80-20 rule actually means. It's based on the Pareto Principle. It's P-A-R-E-T-O. It is discovered by an Italian economist who noticed that 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the people. This pattern shows up everywhere. 20% of your effort creates 80% of your results. 20% of your patience cause 80% of your stress, and 20% of your decisions drive 80% of your progress. Now, I first came across this principle back when I was working in a corporate world doing bell curve rankings for staff performance. For those of you who don't know, a bell curve is a performance evaluation model where employees are ranked on a curve. The majority fall in the middle. They are called the average performers. A small percentage are on the top, and another small group are on the bottom. The idea is to visualize performance distribution and focus improvement efforts where they matter most. I realized something powerful from that system. If you focus on the bottom 20%, the ones struggling, needing coaching or guidance, you can actually lift the overall performance of the team. That experience made me see how small, focused changes can create massive results. And from then on, I started applying this rule to everything: leadership, nursing, finances, and it completely shifted the way I work and live. Since my channel is focused on nursing, career growth, leadership and management, and personal finance, I'll share a few quick examples for each. Then later on, I'll dive deeper into these topics in my upcoming vlogs, so let's break it down. The hospital I work for recently launched an initiative for bedside shift reporting and nurse rounding. Although this is being rolled out hospital-wide, it's not exactly a new concept. It's the same approach I've seen used in my previous hospitals to improve patient safety and boost our hospital scores. Basically, the initiative involves a group of key tasks such as addressing immediate patient concern, updating communication board, or just basically making better communications and doing patient safety checks. Not all nurses are fond of it because they think it's too tedious, but when done properly, this strategy declutters your routine and helps you stay ahead of the chaos. You address what's important early on, which keeps you prepared for urgent situations later. So based on my experience, the 80-20 in nursing means focusing on that simple, structured strategy, doing those major tasks up front so you can handle your routine work calmly and efficiently for the rest of your shift. That's working smarter, not harder. The Pareto Principle has actually become somewhat of a corporate jargon back in 2010s when I was working as a mid-level manager for both Fortune 500 and smaller managed care companies. This concept shows up everywhere. In operations management, it's all about performance management and people management. It's a layered process of keeping KPIs or key performance indicators high while keeping your people happy. Let's take two classic examples: employee productivity and clinical compliance. In employee productivity, especially in utilization management, we measure how many clinical reviews each nurses completes. Ideally, everyone performs at a similar level so that the team hits the collective goal. But when KPIs dip, guess where we look? The bottom performers. That's where the 80-20 rule kicks in. We either coach, mentor, or if all else fail, initiate corrective action. Worst case, termination. It's not about being harsh. It's about identifying the 20% of factors that drags the 80% of the outcomes. Now, for clinical compliance audits, this measures review accuracy. Even with clear guidelines, clinical judgment can be subjective. So when audit scores drop, again, we don't overhaul everything. We zero in on that 20% who needs extra support or guidance. In leadership and management, the 80-20 rule is all about finding your weakest links, diagnosing the root causes, and providing targeted solutions, whether through coaching, retraining, or process improvement. When you're strengthened, that 20%, you elevate the entire team. Career growth can mean many things: a vertical climb up the ladder or a lateral move into a new specialty or role. A lot of people think promotion happens just because you get higher degrees, but that's not always true. You'll see people with master's degrees still waiting for their next big gig. From what I've learned, true career growth needs the right combination of education, experience, and opportunity. Back in my corporate heydays, I was promoted 4 times into mid-level management, not because I was the best among my peers or because my team had the top results, but because I delivered above average performance plus 3 things. First, I honed my soft skills. One of them would be problem-solving skills, and this is actually huge. Leaders love leaders who can solve problems for them. If your manager knows you can handle issues before they reach their desk, you instantly become more valuable. Less problem means less work for them. Second, I took advantage of company IDPs, or individualized development plans. I've talked about this concept in my previous vlogs, but these IDPs are great for employees who want to level up without going back to school. They may not give you a full academic foundation, but they provide the exact knowledge and training you need to do the next role. That's the route I took, and it worked, and it's still the route I'm taking up till this day. I also invested in my character. This is the third: being a team player, showing compassion, diligence, integrity. These intangibles go a long way. HR people will tell you that performance metrics matter, but so do soft factors or soft skills. People remember your attitude, not just your output. So the 80-20 rule in career growth means you don't have to do everything. Take every certifications, apply to every job, or chase every opportunity. You just have to find the right combination of skills, experience, and qualities that move your career forward. That's your 20%, the part that delivers 80% of your growth. Personal finance is called that because it's personal. I always say this in my vlogs, but allow me to give my 2 cents on how the Pareto Principle seriously works in your favor when investing your money. Let's say you started investing right after landing your first job. You decided to open a Roth IRA and max out the annual contribution limit of $7,000 in an S&P 500 index funds, averaging an 8% annual return for the next 40 years up until retirement. By that time, you'd have about $1,813,396. Nearly $1.8 million. So where does the 80-20 rule comes in? If you break down the numbers to build that 1.8 million, you only actually invested about $280,000. The rest, around 1.53 million, come from the power of compounding. That's your 80-20 right there. The 20% is your consistent contribution, the disciplined part of you that invests every year. The 80% is your money doing the heavy lifting while you sleep, thanks to compound interest. When it comes to finances, it's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing consistently. Let your smart habits and time work together to make your money grow. Pro tip: audit your day. Where's your energy going? If it's not giving returns, it's time to refocus, because when you channel your effort into the right 20%, everything else starts falling into place. So remember, you don't need to do everything to succeed. You just need to do the right thing consistently. The 80-20 rule isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. If you love this video, hit like, subscribe, and comment down below with things you're gonna change starting today. This is Ed, your nurse, your motivator, and your friendly reminder that sometimes you're doing too much. Simplify your grind, trust your 20%, and let success do the heavy lifting.